chat up, cuddle, fiance, play hard to get. These are just some of the words and expressions that we're going to take a look at today. As you know, Valentine's Day is coming up in a few days, so I thought, what more appropriate video than to make one on dating, relationships, love, but more so focusing on that vocabulary. My name is Cristina, and why don't we begin? So our first word is crush. And when you have a crush on someone, that means that you like them or you're attracted to them, but you're not quite in a relationship with them just yet. Date. Now, when you date someone, that means that you spend time with them and you go on romantic dates with them because you like them. And when you date someone, you might go on dates as well. So you can date someone, which is to be romantically involved, and also you can go on a date with someone. And some dates that you could go on could be maybe out for dinner or to the movies, etc. Boyfriend. Now, a boyfriend would be a boy or a man, depending on your age, that you have a romantic relationship with. And the opposite of boyfriend would be girlfriend. And girlfriend is a girl or woman who you also have a romantic relationship with. Now, our next two words would be a lover or a mistress. And a lover and mistress in this context have a very similar meaning. And that would be the person that you are seeing in a romantic or sexual way outside of your marriage. So usually your lover or your mistress would have more of a negative meaning. Okay? Now keep in mind that the word lover in this context has this negative connotation. Obviously, it has that negative meaning, but a lover can also be a positive thing. I can call my boyfriend my lover boy. So it doesn't have to have this negative meaning. But in this case, mistress and lover, very similar. Significant other. Now, your significant other would be your partner or your spouse if you're married, whom you have a romantic relationship with. Fiance. Now, your fiance would be the person that you intend to marry or that you've accepted a proposal from. Keep in mind that fiance with one E would be the male version, and fiance with two E's would be the female version. And of course, the word fiance looks like a French word because it is. It comes from the French language. Groom. Now, groom would be the man that is getting married on his wedding day. And the opposite would be bride. Bride would be the woman that is getting married on her wedding day. So the bride and groom. Spouse. Now, spouse would be the man or woman that you are married to. And this word is a great word to use if you don't want to specify that you're married to a man or that you're married to a woman. If you just say my spouse, then the other person that hears this wouldn't know if they're male or female. Husband. Husband would be the man that you're married to, and wife would be the woman that you're married to. So we have spouse, and with spouse, we're not saying whether the person that we're married to is male or female. Then we have husband, and here we're saying that it's male. And then we have wife, and there we are saying that the person that we're married to is female. Spouse, husband, and wife. Partner. Now, your partner could be your boyfriend or girlfriend, or they could be your husband or wife. And when you use partner, not only are you not specifying whether they're male or female, but you're also not specifying whether you're married or not. So this one, just like spouse, we're not saying whether we're with a male or with a female, but in this example, we're also not saying whether we're married or not. I'm losing my voice. Now let's move on and let's talk a little bit about how to describe your relationship or your marital status. And we'll start with single. Now, technically, the word single means that you are not married, but people also use it to mean that you're not in a relationship. Engaged. Now, when we use the word engaged, we usually would say, I am engaged. And if you say that you are engaged, that means that you are in a commitment to get married to someone else in the nearby future. So you've committed yourself to marry someone else. You are engaged. I'm engaged. Married. Now, to be married with someone, that means that you are in a permanent romantic relationship with someone that is recognized by law. Separated. Now, when you are separated, that means that legally you're still married, but you're no longer in a romantic relationship with the other person, and you're probably no longer living together as well. Divorced. Now, if you are divorced, that means that you are no longer married to someone else. Legally, you're not married anymore. Widow, widower. Now, if you are a widow or widower, that means that you lost your husband or wife, they died, and you no longer remarried. So if you are female and you lost your husband, you would be a widow. And if you are male and you've lost your wife, you would be a widower. Now let's move on to ways to show affection in English. So one common way to show affection would be to hold hands. And when you hold hands, you link hands together to show affection. Hold hands. Hug. And hug is to put your arms around someone to show affection. Hug. Cuddle. And cuddle would be to hold someone close to your body in order to show affection. Now, when you cuddle with someone, most likely you will cuddle with them on the sofa or in the bed, and it's kind of like you're hugging for a long time and your body's against the other person and you're cuddling. Peck. Now, usually you would give someone a peck, and when you give someone a peck, that means to give someone a light kiss, probably a light kiss on the lips or a light kiss on the cheek. So maybe if I first meet a guy that I start to like and we start to date, maybe our first kiss would be a peck. Nothing more serious than that, maybe just a little peck, especially when you're younger and you're a kid. That would be your first kiss, most of the time. And then if I want to show affection to a family member, I would also give them a peck, but on the cheek. Peck. Kiss. And kiss would be to touch your lips against someone else's lips to show affection, which we all already know, right? Mwah. Kiss. Make out. Now, to make out would be to kiss and touch in a sexual way. And when you make out, you're usually not pecking. You would be probably kissing for a very long time with tongue, and there would be lots of sexual touching. Make out. Now let's move on to common verbs and expressions that we can use to talk about dating and relationships in English. To have a crush on someone means to like someone in a romantic way. And you especially hear that word when you're younger and you have that first crush and you really, really like someone. So you have a crush on someone. You have a crush on that boy at school. You have a crush on that girl on the bus. Have a crush. To chat up. Now, to chat up means to have a casual but flirtatious conversation with someone, usually because you like them and you want to seduce them. To flirt with. Now, when you flirt with someone, that means that you act and speak in a certain way with someone in a way that shows that you like them and you're attracted to them. So if you're flirting with someone, you would be saying nice things to them, maybe sweet romantic things to them, and that way they would know that you're interested. And also your body would be showing that you're flirting too. Maybe you would be getting a little bit closer, you might want to put your arm around them, etc. To play hard to get is when you act or pretend that you're not interested in someone so that they think you're not interested in them, and they work harder to get you to be interested in them. So this is something especially that you see happen when people are a lot younger, right? So maybe a girl, for example, or a boy might play hard to get when they like someone and they don't want to appear too desperate. So they would play hard to get in order for the boy to think, oh, she's not interested in me. That's gonna make me like her more. I should work harder to get her to like me. And it's kind of like reverse psychology in a way. To ask someone out. Now, to ask someone out is to ask someone to go on a date with you because you like them and you're attracted to them. To get to know. Now, when you get to know someone, that means that you spend time with them in order to learn more about them and see if maybe they could be a potential future match for you. To get on well with. Now, when you get on well with someone, that means that you have a good relationship with that person. So you understand each other and you respect one another, and also you probably share similar interests. So you get on well with someone. And that could be someone that you get on well with in a romantic way, or maybe even just a friendship. To have a lot in common. Now, when you have a lot in common with someone, that means that you share similar interests or hobbies with that person. To date. Now, to date would be to go out regularly with someone because you are in a relationship with them, or you probably will be in a relationship with them in the nearby future. To go out with. Now, to go out with someone means to go on a date with someone that you're interested in, or it can also mean to have an official, established romantic relationship with someone. So it has those two different meanings. To treat. Now, when you treat someone, that means that you pay for the other person on a date. So you may pay for their meal if you go out for dinner, or you may pay for an activity if you do some kind of an activity on a date. Now, I have to say, if you are Spanish and you're watching, a lot of the Spanish people, when they say treat, or when they mean to say treat in English, they say invite. Because in Spanish, you have invitar a alguien, which means to invite someone or to treat someone to a free meal, for example. And in English, that would be a false friend. We don't invite someone to a free meal, we treat them to a free meal. So treat, not invite. To fall in love. Now, to fall in love would mean to begin to feel a romantic love for someone. Then we also have to fall for, which means to begin to be in love with someone. To have ups and downs. Now, when a relationship has ups and downs, that means that it has good times and bad times. Then we also have break up, to break up, or to split up. And both of these have the same meaning. They both mean to end a relationship. And then very similar to break up and split up, we have to dump someone. And when you dump someone else, that means that you break up with that person. And dump, I guess, would be a little bit more casual and informal than to split up, for example. To drift apart. Now, when you drift apart from someone, that means that you become less close to someone over time. So maybe a couple has been together for a very long time, and then with time, they've just drifted apart. They're no longer so close and connected or in love as they were at the beginning. They've drifted apart. And maybe as a result of drifting apart, they might break up, split up, or get dumped, or they might have a divorce or get separated. So you don't want to drift apart. So you don't want to drift apart unless it just happens naturally and that was your intention. I mean, we can't control these things. Let's move on to the next expression. To be on the rocks. Now, to be on the rocks means to be in a relationship that is likely to fail due to severe difficulties or serious problems. So maybe, who knows, maybe your husband is cheating on you, or you don't have much of a sex life. So then maybe those things could cause your relationship to be on the rocks. To have a fling. Now, to have a fling would be to have a short but maybe intense relationship with someone. It would be the opposite of an official, romantic, serious relationship. Okay? So a fling would be something that maybe only lasts for a few days, maybe a few weeks, nothing long or serious, like an official relationship. To have a one-night stand. Now, to have a one-night stand with someone means to have a single, unrepeated sexual encounter with someone that, as the name suggests, only lasts one night. One night stand. To make up. Now, to make up means to forgive someone after an argument or serious fight. To get engaged. Now, to get engaged means to promise someone that you will marry them. So many times if someone says, I got engaged, that means that recently someone proposed to them or asked them to marry them and they said yes. And in that case, they got engaged, or now they are engaged. Which brings us to propose. And to propose means to ask someone to marry you. And then we also have a very famous idiom for to propose, which would be to pop the question. And to pop the question, again, is to ask someone to marry you. Then we also have to marry or to get married. And to marry or to get married would be to legally become the partner of someone else, usually during a special ceremony. The special ceremony may be a wedding, or maybe even you can also get married in a city hall. Who knows? Depends on what you're into. We also have a very famous idiom, which also means to get married, and that would be to take the plunge. So if two people take the plunge, they get married. And we have another idiom to mean to get married, which is to tie the knot. And when a couple ties the knot, they also get married. So you can get married, you can tie the knot, you can take the plunge. There's many different ways to say it. Then we also have to settle down. Now, to settle down would mean to start living a more quiet life in one place, or to give up that crazy single or bachelor life that you had before. Probably because you want to start a more serious stage in your life, like to start a family. To have an affair. And to have an affair means to engage in a sexual relationship with someone when you are married to someone else. And our final expression would be to get a divorce. And when two people get a divorce, that means that they end their relationship. Which brings us to the end of the video. End the relationship, end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you learned plenty of dating and relationship vocabulary. If you have any questions or any comments, don't forget to comment down below. And if you would like to see more videos related to love, dating, and relationships, or Valentine's Day in general, stay tuned for next week's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Mwah! Bye for now.